Alright, everyone, welcome to day 4. Yeah, day 4 of our graphic design bootcamp. Okay, so the next thing on our timetable is Pixellab Basics. Okay, so let's get right into it. In this one, I'll be showing you most of the tools we use and how to use them. So there are different types of different types of Pixellab. We have Pixellab, the number one. We have Pixellab. There is pink one. We have Pixellab YD, Pixellab Indonesia, Pixellab blah 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 blah. They are all the same thing. The tools inside are all the same. And if you know how to use this Pixellab very well, you'll be able to create so many things that you feel like you can't you can't create. I'm sorry, it's coming out like this. Okay, so now let's get right into it. So the first thing first. This is the first thing that we need to. Alright, so let it be here. This is the first thing here. Do you understand? This one is for text. This one is for text control. Do you understand? It is for text control. Anything about text, it is here. Sorry, it is here. Anything about text, you use this thing for it. Now, anything about pictures, images, shapes is this one here. This one right here. Anything about images and then pictures and everything else. That's it. So let me just show you some example. Now for this text, you see now is text or quote. Now let's say this plus button or this plus icon, it means add. This one right here, it means add, like to add something, to add a text. Now let me edit this guy. So I'm going to just tap on edit. Do you understand? Then whatever you want to write, let me write AY magic. AY magic. Good. Now you can use your hand to most of the time you are using your hand on this. In Pixellab, you are using your hand on the screen. You are allowed to use your hand. There's no space for you not to like. There's no space for you to do that off screen, but on the screen like this, I'm the one using my hands now to. How do I say it now? To move it, I can adjust the proportion. Do you understand now? And I can stretch it. Well, this can be stretched. This is the last stuff, and I can also use my hand to rotate. Can you see? I can also use my hand to rotate it. So apart from that, now I show that this A, because let me show you something now. So because I'm using text, the text tool, that is why there is pink, like the color change to pink. If you see the other ones now, they are nothing, like they are white in color, but because I'm on this tool, that's why it changed to pink. You understand now? So I can edit it, I can delete it, I can copy. This is copy. I can delete. Let me tap on it again. I can bring it to front. If I have many layers, I can take it to the back. I can move. I can use this thing. I can move it with this stuff, but it is kind of slow. Only when you want to move it, when there are many layers and you don't want to scatter them, you can use this. It's very helpful. You understand? Or if you want to move it in a very tiny way, you can see that it's moving, but just very small. So if you want to use it like that, that is okay. So now we have relative position. What this relative position does is to put it in center. Do you understand? This is relative position. This is the work of relative position. Do you understand? Now this is the size. You can use this place to increase the size and decrease it. Do you understand? But for easy access, you can just use your hand here. You can see it's moving with it. So you can use your hand. Now this is padding. This is padding. When we are doing any stuff, when we are doing any practical, I'll be letting you know what this thing is. Now come to color. This is the color. We have white, we have so many colors. Now we can even add colors, anyone you want. Do you understand? You can add anyone you want. But now there is something again. You see this thing, you have color here. Most of the people don't know this. We have color here, but we also have gradients here. So if you want to use gradients, you come over to that side. Okay, now let me remove this. Now this is gradient, do you understand? This is gradient. At the top here, you can see I'm tapping on it. This is gradient. So we have different gradients. You can even create your own gradient. These are the recent ones I used. That is why they are still here. Do you understand? Let me show you something. Now this is a gradient. This is how gradient works. This one is the center. Um, this thing. There is the one at the side. There is the one at the top. There is the one at each corner, each far corner. This is the center one. This one right here and another one like this. So we use all these gradients to create depth, to add depth. If you don't want your color to just be one color, you can use it to create like a gradient where color blends with each other. So that's that. Okay, now let me show you how to pick color. Oh no, don't let us go into that yet. Alright, so now we have texture. This texture also will be explained properly, do you understand, in another video. So now this is opacity. Opacity can also be called visibility. If you want it to be visible and if you don't want it to be visible, this is the tool you use rather. This is one of the important tools in graphic designing. Opacity is very important. Now this is rotate. Like I said, you can actually use your hand and you can actually use this tool to rotate it. Now this is masking. This is masking. It is quite tricky. Do you understand? It is quite tricky, but with time you'll be able to get it. And masking is usually used in creating logos and the rest. Yeah, use it in logos. Now these are fonts. This is the font tool. This is the font tool right here. Can you see now? This is the font tool. So one of the difference between Pixellab YD, Pixellab blah 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 is sometimes they have more font than each other. Do you understand? They have more fonts than each other. Then the style, you can actually make your text bolder, in italic form, underlined, or the rest. And the most interesting part is that, okay, let me show you what I mean. The most interesting part about this is you can actually do it selectively. Now let me show you what I mean. So let me show you what I mean. If I should move this marker here and I click on bold, the only selected part will be adjusted in italics too. Do you understand? So it is very useful when you want to do some work like that. So we are removing this. Now there's curve. Yes, inward curve or outward curve. There is curve. We use this one too. There's background or two. You understand? There's background. Let's remove this background. Good. The background can either be in a solid color or a gradient color. Do you see? Alright, so let's move it. We have aligning. We have center alignment. I told you what alignment is. We have center alignment, we have right alignment, and we have left alignment. So these are the alignments you see. Now there is spacing. Can you see now? Spacing is also important. We use it often in this thing. Now saying this, if this text right here is in more than 2 lines, we can use line spacing. Do you understand? Okay, now there is stroke. Yeah, this is what they call stroke. It's like a border. You see, you can increase the stroke, you can reduce the stroke. Do you understand? So now we have shadow. Moving on, we have shadow. Can you see now? We have shadow. Okay, we have emboss. But emboss won't really work on phones that are over, what's this thing called again? That has 7 point something build version 7 upwards. If you use it, it may work like this, but if you want to export it, it's going to break. You understand? So there are some ways so you can actually do it and it won't break. We'll be letting you know that as we progress in the lesson. Now there's perspective. There is perspective. This is very, very useful. When you are creating mockups, it's very, very useful. Okay, we have 3D rotate. Do you see? Do you see? We have 3D rotate. We have 3D text too. This is also useful. It adds depth and different things to it. You understand? We have 3D shadow. This is the shadow under the stuff, and we have reflection. This is reflection right here. So this is the text tool. Do you understand? This is for text only. This is for text. So we have the text tool. We have everything that we want to know, and then there are styles there. Lest I forget, there are styles. There are styles. This bad boy right here. So now this style is, you see this text that we have, you can save it as a style so that next time you want to use it, you just go to it straight. You won't need to create it all over again. But we'll be letting you know what that is. So these are styles, and so these are the tools we use for our text only. It only works on text. All these tools here, right here, they only work on text. The ones for image are also for image. So because I don't want this video to be so long, I don't want it to be too long, I will stop this and then create another video on talking about the image tool. You understand? This is for text. I don't know if I'm rushing it, but I think I'm actually giving it a very easy explanation. But if you have any question, you can actually come to my DM and then we can talk it out. Do you understand? So this is the text tool, what we use for text and create magic. You understand? The software you are using doesn't limit you. It is you that limits you. Do you understand what I mean? It is your knowledge of graphic design that limits what you can do with any software you are given. Do you understand? You can be using Photoshop, you can use CorelDRAW and still create uninteresting designs. Do you understand? But if you can, if you have the correct knowledge and the like in-depth knowledge of graphic design and the principles and the element and everything you need to know about graphic design, your software will not limit you. So bye for now. In this regard, I'm going to create another one that talks about the other parts. Thank you. God bless you.